Are you ready? Can Crush Us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock 'em out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit 'em with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break 'em, let's go. Yeah. Can Crushers. Yeah. Can Crushers, let's go.
Hey, this is the Smoking Gun Kane Carter, and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast, and y'all strap in for this episode. This will be a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. It's the Spotlight Show, and I'm your host, Mark the Mark Martinez. Welcome back, and welcome if you've never listened before. I'm super excited that you are here. We are headed back out to the Midwest to talk to the rootinest, tootinest Foreman out there in professional wrestling. We're going to have the Foreman Red James come on the show. We're going to learn everything about him, learn about his career, why he got into wrestling, and then just why he's ornery. Why he's just a miserable, ornery cowboy type of guy. You know, we have to figure all that out. And we're going to get to the bottom of it here on Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Guys, you know I love doing these spotlights to dive into the who, why, what, and all of that of professional wrestling with these young up-and-comer stars all over the world. And it's just, this is my passion project. I love finding out why. Why do you love wrestling? Why? So we're going to get there. But we have to do some stuff first. Collar and Elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans are producing, making, distributing, all of that over at Collar and Elbow. We want to save you some money. We want to save you 10% off of your entire order. And we have a promo code for that. It's Can Crushers. It's that simple. Capital C in Can, capital C in Crushers. After you get done buying everything, put it in a little promo code box and you'll save 10%. You can thank me later. Hey, where can you listen to us besides where you're listening now? Well, Spotify, iHeart, Google Play, iTunes, Boxcast. They're all over. Ask Alexa. She'll play Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast for you, too. Wherever podcasts are, we're there. Take a moment, please, and rate the show. Give us some feedback. We like it because it gives us an uptick in where we are on Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that. It really means a lot. So thank you. Would you like to be part of a Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast spotlight show like this? Well, you can slide into any of our DMs on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, just like some of the most recent wrestlers on the show that have. Drop us a DM. We'll get you scheduled, all right? And we'll love to hear what's going on in your wrestling world. Or you can do it the old-fashioned way. I guess email's old-fashioned nowadays is what I've been told from the youngins. It's cancrusher69@gmail.com. You can reach us on email as well. So, yeah, I'm super excited to talk to the rootin' tootinest, the Foreman himself, Red James. But here comes Al Snow first to tell you all about Collar and Elbow. Red James is waiting on the line, so here we go. I might get shot by the end of this one.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
Hey guys, this is Olivia Vegas, and I am the fashionista of fame from OKC, and you're listening to Can Crushers.
And welcome back to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Guys, you heard how excited, scared, nervous I am to have my next guest on the show. He is the foreman of the Guerrilla Militia, Mr. Red James. Red, how the hell you doing tonight?
Doing wonderful. Just got off work, got to the house, about to wind down. I'm doing wonderful.
Nice. That's always a good day after a long day's work. You can just settle down and probably watch wrestling, right?
Probably, actually. We call it film study, but yeah, we're watching wrestling.
Oh yeah. It's right. You're in the business. I forgot. I have to use my correct words. It's film study. Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing film study.
All right, we'll get to more film study because I want to know a lot about this, but I like going all the way back. When you were a little Red, who introduced you to professional wrestling? Mom, Dad, Aunt Sally, Uncle Joe, who was it?
My great-grandfather lived with us, and he loved Ric Flair. And, like, the rule in the house was if Ric Flair wasn't on that company, we weren't going to watch it. So I grew up at the tail end of Jim Crockett, and I grew up with WCW Monday Nitro.
Nice. That is exactly, you're hitting me right off the bat, because that was, and you said your great grandfather, mine was my grandfather, and it was all about Ric Flair for my grandfather. He hated him, but if he was on TV, Grandma had to shut up and nobody else was allowed making a peep because he was so fascinated by him. Was your great-grandfather the same way?
Whenever Hulk Hogan would come, at the time it was Hollywood Hogan. When he would come on TV, he would just turn it off. He hated Hollywood Hogan. And like later on in life, I got that same animosity to watching wrestling that I don't watch CM Punk do promos. I love watching his wrestling, but I do not listen to his promo. I'm like, this guy's just pissing me off, and I'll just turn it off.
Oh, this is going to be a fun one because I'm so pumped for this. Is it because he's so good, or do you just hate him?
He's so good at what he does. And I remember back whenever it was not that long ago, whenever he lost the title to The Rock, that kind of that run he had in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
He was having such a great run. I would turn the TV off for 10 minutes because I knew how long his promos were 10 minutes. Turn the TV off for 10 minutes, turn it back on after I got done setting a timer, and I'd watch his match. But he was so good at making me hate him. And that's exactly what Hollywood Hogan was doing back in the day. And now he's like, I still do it now watching AEW.
So are you telling me you've never watched the original full pipe bomb that CM Punk had?
I have gone back and rewatched it just to see it, but
for film study, right? For film study.
Yeah, I watched it, but like his recent promos, his backstage interviews, I don't watch them. He is so good at what he does. He's supposed to be the likable prick, and I hate it.
Nice. I love that. Now, I'll never turn off a CM Punk interview because I love the banter and the hate and the spew and the everything that he's because I'm a communications guy. So yeah.
Yeah, he draws me like if I were to watch it, I guarantee I'm probably going to ruin whoever's like right there with me watching it. So I don't watch him. I know he's doing a great job. He's getting into motion. That's what he's supposed to do, but I'm turning it off. I'm going to go on. I'll rant on whatever he's ranting on. I'll ruin it for somebody.
Yes. This is the love of professional wrestling there.
I love that he's that good, too. I love that he's getting that such emotion that I will turn the TV off. I will walk out of the room. I don't like it. That's just it. Like, it's good for him.
And you said about 10 minutes because then 10 minutes later, I'm sure you can turn the match on and watch it. And I bet you verbatim, you can tell me what he talked about then. A la, the announcers bringing something back up. I just think you have a sixth sense all of a sudden. You're like Bruce Willis.
Probably. I'll watch the matches. He has great matches. I was so surprised at his last match in Wembley that just happened last weekend, and like I was amazed by that whole ordeal over there.
Yeah.
And I did not think the match was going to be that good. And a quarter of the way through it, I go, okay, this is a professional wrestling match. This is good. And it wound up being one of the best matches on the card, in my opinion.
To pause on that, I don't see how anything can beat that pay-per-view. Like, I was on the edge of my seat the whole night. Yeah, the CM Punk match definitely was one of the top ones. For that pay-per-view, I have to give it to Kenny and Ospreay, though. That was...
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ospreay is art. There's nothing... Ospreay's art, and Kenny Omega has shown him how to perfect that art of professional wrestling. And there's a reason why Will Ospreay has more 5-star matches than anybody else.
Agreed. All right, let's get back to so favorites, because we're going to get back onto not real wrestling, but today's wrestling anyway in the near future. But so favorites when you were growing up then, did you transition to liking Flair and hating Hogan, or who were some of yours that you liked?
Oh, I was Sting all the way and Sting, Lex Luger, when they were tag teaming. Whenever Sting joined the Wolfpack, I thought that was like a forbidden sin, but I still enjoyed that. Sting was the main go-to, but I enjoyed Conan. I enjoyed Conan in WCW. I thought Ric Flair was old whenever I was a kid. I thought he was the old guy because they made him shave his head. They made him cut his hair, and I didn't understand that. And he just looked older, so I was just like, oh, Ric Flair's old, Hulk Hogan's old, Macho Man's old. So, and I know Sting's the same age as all of them, but as a kid, I didn't realize that. And I was a big fan of the face paint and the flat top. But Lex Luger, when he came in and Monday Nitro, never seen anything like that before in my life. I thought that was awesome.
That was an amazing night. Yes.
I've gone back and watched old Monday Night Raws now and old WWF footage. But back then I knew what WWF was, but it wasn't allowed. It was too racy.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely during that Attitude Era.
Yeah, it was too racy, so I wasn't allowed to watch it. And the fact that they didn't have Ric Flair on it. So
you weren't allowed watching it anyway.
Yeah. So, but Sting really stood out to me. I liked Goldberg because I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Goldberg was billed from Tulsa, Oklahoma, so I enjoyed him. I wasn't so much of a fan of his, but I enjoyed him. But I was a real big fan of that group that Perry Saturn, Dean Malenko, and Shane Douglas was part of.
The Radicals? Was that what
the Radicals?
Yes.
The Radicals. I really enjoyed the Radicals. No, they were were they the Radicals? I gotta.
No, it wasn't the Radicals are the guys in Impact right now. Or they recently in Impact.
The Revolution.
Yes.
The Revolution.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got all their autographs at a Walmart, and whenever they were coming through town, and whenever I became an instant fan of all of theirs. And whenever I talk about Perry Saturn, I mean, go back and watch ECW Perry Saturn.
Unbelievable. I'm glad you brought that up.
Unbelievable. He's unbelievably good. And it was just like how he got delegated down to a mop. I'm like, Jesus. But if ECW Perry Saturn was let loose in WCW, it would have been a whole different gimmick.
The gimmick was god awful, but throw the mop away. What he did in the ring, even in WWE or WWF or whatever the hell it was at that exact time, those dates now just are mushed together. He still put on good matches. You just couldn't believe that he was putting on good matches. I agree. ECW Perry Saturn is a million times better.
That was another one that I stood up late to watch because it was on TNN, wasn't it, or Spike TV?
Yeah, TNN back in the day.
That was one that that I caught one night. Here's the other kicker. I didn't have cable TV in my bedroom. My sister did.
So you had
So
to
my
sneak.
grandpa, he lived in a house behind our house. So he would come up. We would sit in my sister's room and watch it. So whenever my sister was out, because she was 4 years older than me, when she'd be out on the weekend with her friends, I would go into her room and I'd watch ECW or the second run, if during the summers, the second run of WWE whenever it was rolling around. But I did get caught and I did get in trouble watching those.
Of course you did. Of course you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
So
First person you suck at yours, he's like, where'd you learn that?
I don't know. I just thought Grandpa was watching it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then he didn't know what it was because Ric Flair wasn't there, so you definitely just got thrown under the bus no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing up, what were you into? You're a bigger guy. You're definitely bigger than me. So I guess whatever. But football, baseball, sports growing up.
Basketball. I love basketball. I loved basketball. Played all through school. Loved it. I thought Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman were gods. So
didn't we all? Yep.
Man, I wore the dresses. I painted my hair, painted my fingernails, and my parents thought I was the devil.
Wait, did you? Because there's a picture in my yearbook in the class of 1995. About 20 of us wore dresses, and that was crazy back then that we did it because that was a different era. And I'm not throwing anything out there before I get canceled, but you wore a dress? You were part of the bandwagon as well?
Oh man, I was all part of the bandwagon of Dennis Rodman. Whenever he got married to himself and he was wearing skirts and everything like that, I thought that was the jam, man. So I had bright pink. I went to school with bright pink spiked hair and a dress. And I got sent back home, but yeah, it was good.
As did we. It was. Before I just spew something bad out, it was bad. It was. They looked at you like you had 3 eyes, 6 arms. They're like, "What the hell are they doing?" Yeah. 20 of us go the hell home that day.
Yeah, no, I was a lone wolf, man. I grew up in Podunk, Oklahoma. A town called Pretty Water. It's just full of cattle farm, and I grew up on a cattle farm. But just out in the middle of nowhere, playing dirt basketball all day, getting your updates about Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, and Michael Jordan. That was it, man. 92 through 98. That was it.
Yeah, it was. So, how do you lead to pro wrestling then? How does this whole story come about? When was that aha moment, training and all of that stuff?
Off air, I told you that me and my friends, we were watching wrestling constantly. We created a little group of us. We made a schedule to watch professional wrestling. There was wrestling every night of the week. And at the time, I wanted to show my kids they could do anything. So I went back to college. I got a degree. I got an associate's, and I was 28, 29 at that time. And then I got really heavy into the labor union movement up here in Tulsa, and I ran for labor union president. And that would have put me at like 31, and I became labor union president. During that time, we were still watching wrestling. We were still talking about it and doing this and doing that. And I've always loved going to the gym. Always, no matter what. Just love being able to move something and I'm not even good at it. I just enjoy going to the gym. But a Facebook ad popped up because at the time we were actually looking for independent wrestling promotions to take our kids to as a show. And me and my kids, we were dressing up in costumes and going to the shows. And we would go to the Party City,
right,
get a costume, and show up at the show like dressed as a leprechaun or whatever. But just had a really good time. And but the Facebook algorithm noticed that I was looking for these things, and I came across an ad to be trained in the Tulsa area by a place called Core Professional Wrestling out of Sand Springs, but their training facility was in Tulsa. At the time, it was only $5.
Damn.
And right, $5 a session. They were just looking like and I was telling my friend, I was like, dude, even if I just get my ass kicked for $5, I still get in the ring. He's like, hell yeah, man, we should all do it. I was like, all right. So time came. I messaged them. They said $5 session. Bring some athletic shoes, probably some knee pads. I said, okay. So I get on Amazon. I ordered knee pads. I had wrestling shoes anyways. I coached amateur wrestling for elementary school and junior high kids for several years while my kids were going through school and they were interested in it. But so I show up to this barn. Well, all right. Imagine, your industrial complex.
Yep.
Like there's a strip mall of like bay doors and where companies with large like shipping containers, they ship stuff out. But there's a lot. It looks like storage buildings, really.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to cut you off. It was just essentially a storage buildings. Yeah.
Yeah, a whole complex of storage buildings. But this door is open and it's full of lawnmowers and grass, and there's a wrestling ring in the corner. I'm like, oh yeah, paid my $5. They did not even touch me. They didn't touch me. They were just trying to get me to learn how to roll on the mat and run across the ring, like not even hit the ropes, just run in a circle. And I was rolling. And dude, I thought I had been beat to hell.
Yep.
That next day, holy crap! I think this was a Thursday, and I think I called out early. I'd taken vacation. I had to go to the lake, and at the time I was smoking cigarettes. I was smoking probably a pack every 2 days. It wasn't, in my opinion, wasn't much, but I was smoking cigarettes. I remember as soon as I left that place, I handed those cigarettes to my cousin. As soon as I got back to the lake, I said, "Here, these are yours. I'm done. I can't breathe."
Have you smoked since? I
smoke. I have a cigarette after a match. But during the week, I do not. I don't smoke during the week. I don't smoke on the weekend. I smoke after a wrestling match, after getting the shit beat out of me. And
so you trimmed down big time. So if anything, this added years to your life while taking them off.
Yeah, exactly. Just getting punched in the face. But yeah, Core Professional Wrestling, Nathan Estrada and Skylar Slice and Mascara Purpura. I think I said his name correctly. Mascara is part of the Garza family.
Yes.
And he's been to CMLL. He's done all that, and but he's the head advanced trainer up here at Core Professional Wrestling, and Nathan Estrada and Skylar Slice are the owners, and they also train basics. But I still go to their trainings. I try to make it once a week, twice a week maybe. But but training has since gone up in price.
Oh yeah,
it's no longer $5 a session, and that's exactly how I got introduced into the ring. And I think I was 30 or 31. I'm 35. No, yeah, it hasn't been 4 years. I was 32. So I'm 35 now.
So besides that first night of almost, cardiac arrest from cigarettes and everything, was there another day, when you learned maybe bumping or running the ropes is god awful? Listen, It's god awful. Was there anything that was like, I just can't effing get this?
Oh, dude. So when you're going through training, like, you're going to have all these bumps and bruises. They're constant, most muscle strains, everything. So like you said, the ropes are god awful. The corner posts are god awful. You're having a mini car crash every time you're taking a bump. Learning how to properly bump was a task for me, because you have to sling yourself back and land correctly so you don't get hurt. And slinging myself back, getting my feet off the ground, took an enormous amount of time than what it should a normal person.
Well, it's unnatural, because you shouldn't just go around throwing yourself on grounds.
Right, exactly. And I think I was 9 months in, and my hip got misaligned. I think I was in 9 months into training, and my hip was just an inch off from the other side. So I had to go get stretched out, and my leg pulled back down, and my hips adjusted. 9 months in, thankfully, I haven't had a problem since. But I was just like, wow, this is what's happening.
So I don't want to bring this up because it's beating a dead horse. So you're actually a COVID trainee then, right? Did you have to take that year off? Yes and no. We'll dabble around that.
No, there was restrictions. There was, and but it was all the restrictions were uplifted whenever we went back to when I went to training, because at the time I was still president of the labor union, and the restrictions were lifted off at that time, and I was able to tell employees, hey, we can go back to work. I remember that, but there was still like mask in mass areas.
Yeah.
And I still remember, like, if you had a cough, if you sneezed, you farted wrong, you weren't allowed to come to training until you got tested.
So we're going to get to your first match because I want to know about this. And also the match that I did watch, I want to talk about that as well. Yeah. Oh. What happens when you tell your family, I'm doing it, I'm getting into professional wrestling? What's everybody say?
Oh, my wife, my kids, they were all supportive. They were like, oh, there goes Dad doing something else different. My wife was like, okay. My parents, though, they were like, just don't get hit in the head. I'm like, I'll be all right, And that's all I get. I mean, I knocked my teeth out for the 5th time in my life in wrestling now. Not
5 times.
Yeah, before wrestling, I had knocked my teeth out 4 times. This was the 5th time, and like my parents were like, "You knocked your teeth out so many times that you won't even get your teeth put back." I was like, "I've got the teeth. I just don't wear them at the wrestling shows."
Right. It makes sense.
So,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ruin my good teeth. My date teeth.
My date teeth.
My date teeth.
I gotta shine these up tonight. Maybe we're going out.
Yeah, they're my good teeth. And go put your good teeth in. But yeah, no, yeah. So like,
family still comes out and everything every show. They take it. What they take and make it essentially.
My wife got into refereeing. And
she needs to be on the show then.
To hit her up. She is very independent. I will tell you that.
Aren't they all?
So if you would like her to be on the show, you have to contact her about being on the show. I'm not going to say, hey, she'll give you a call. No, if you want her, you got to contact her.
Deal.
I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying she's independent.
That's what I said. They all are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's at work right now, so I can be a little bit loud. But when she listens to this, I'll be like, "Oh, I'm independent, huh?"
Yeah. Mine went to the gym. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah,
we're both good, man. We won't be in trouble till next Wednesday.
I was gonna say a couple weeks from now we're dead. It was nice knowing you, Red. So let's talk about your first match. Tell me that because I ring announce up here in Pennsylvania, and going through that curtain, it's glorious. It really is. The first one out every show, getting to yell at the fans, talk to the fans and everything. It's so fun. I have anxiety. I'll throw it out there. In the back, I don't want to do this. I'm trying to find a way out. I don't know. The Can Crusher music comes on. I slide out of that curtain. I am Mark the Mark, the ring announcer of ring announcers, and I'm having so much fun. It hits another level, and I didn't know that. So tell me all of your, butterflies and everything.
All right. So my very first match was crowdless. It was a taping. My second match was a pre-show, and there was probably about 10 people there, but that was against Fuego del Sol.
Oh, my God. That's that was awesome, though.
Yeah. But there was only like 8 people. I got so caught up with that Fuego match, right? I'm backstage, and I was supposed to be in a Rumble, and I missed the Rumble because I was so hyped I just got to wrestle Fuego del Sol, my second match ever. But my first match, it was there was a larger class of these trainees at Unified Wrestling Oklahoma, and so we were putting on our own show to showcase, hey, we're coming up. And so it was the Dojo Wars, and that was my first match. I got over. I cheated. I didn't cheat. Somebody cheated for me to win. And then the Fuego del Sol match was so it was the baby faces versus the heels, and we were having a volleyball match outside. And like Johnny Cove, a wrestler out of Oklahoma and Texas here, is very good at volleyball.
Okay.
And like it's ridiculous. Like the volleyball was going towards him, and he was just spiking it. And the heels were up. It was a stupid amount. And then Fuego del Sol popped something off. I always wear pearl snap shirts. That day, for some reason, I wore a button-down shirt. I'm in full cowboy dress. I got a cowboy hat, long sleeves, jeans, belt buckle boots, and I'm playing volleyball. And
it's 120 degrees outside.
Yeah. 120 degrees outside. I'm playing volleyball, and Fuego melted off something, and I ripped this shirt off, and I heard the buttons go pop, 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 pop. I looked down and go, shit. I just walked to the ring, and I still have the shirt too. And by the way, there was a pie people were hitting me in the face with pies before this.
What?
So it's like you paid $5, you got the pie.
Pie in the face. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I was getting pied before the volleyball match. Now I'm out in 100. Now I'm no longer in the shade. I'm in 120 degree heat and playing volleyball, and the milk is curdling.
Yep.
And I got a beard, big red beard, and it's all like getting in the beard. All I can smell is rotten milk, and it's all over the shirt. And then I get in the ring. They say ring the bell. I'm looking around for the bell, and Fuego kicks me in the gut, runs up, tornado DDTs me. At the time, Fuego had never hit the tornado DDT on AEW. At the time. So, and I never seen it. He cheated. There was no bell. They didn't ring it. They declared him the winner.
Oh, that's baloney. That's absolutely that. It was never a match then.
Exactly. And then a year later, at this last summer send-off, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get my revenge. And then he faked this ankle injury of his here recently to get out of the match with us.
Bum.
I know what happened.
What a bum. I was all for Fuego too, but not knowing that he's a cheater and Fuego.
Yeah. But that was my second match, and my first match. I honestly don't. I remember us being both so nervous. There's another local guy named KJ Gold, and he's very athletic as to where I am not. Like I am a barroom brawler style, and I was getting hurricanranaed and splashed in the corner. Like it wasn't like we were so nervous, and it still went up on YouTube. Ugh.
Well, the next match that I want to talk about is you against one of the largest men in history, Sam Stackhouse.
Oh, Sammy, which one?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one it was. I believe it was in Oklahoma. You're in Oklahoma anyway, but I'm not sure. But you used the fork to beat him at the end of the match. What is it like working with, no disrespect, somebody that much bigger than you?
Oh, it's intimidating. It really is. It's really intimidating. And I'm just glad that Sam wasn't on his A game. I know the one that you're talking about. A couple weeks later, we had another match in a triple threat where he just absolutely mauled me. He got his payback. But Sam I'm 6'1" on a good day. He's got to be 6'3", 6'4".
He looks 6'12", and I know I made the pun. But, you know, he
Yeah.
just looks like he's 7 foot tall. Listen,
Yeah.
if it's only 2 inches, Red, he looked
Yeah.
like he dwarfed you.
Yeah, and the chops on the table. Oh my God!
Yeah,
He-
I
he-
heard
he-
them from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that wasn't the worst chop I had received at that time. I had been chopped previously so hard before then that I had a tear on my delt all the way up on my shoulder
Oh
from
my
getting chopped.
God!
uh, no, Sam, you better pack a lunch whenever you're getting hit by Sam. And I'm just glad I didn't take the J driller from him, or it would have been over.
Yeah, you'd be packing a lot more.
Yeah, that was the Crow Cup. That was last year's Crow Cup.
Yes, that's what they were saying. Yes.
Yeah, this year's Crow Cup. It's a King of the Ring style tournament, but it's integrated into the other shows that we're having throughout the summer, and I'm back into the Crow Cup.
Nice.
So, yeah, Sam Stackhouse. Can't say enough about the guy. GCW roster member. King of Texas. If there's a show in Texas, he's probably got a title there.
Yeah, he is again, and he's Bam Bam Vader-esque. For as big as he is, he moves so well.
So well. I'm surprised he doesn't know how to, or he doesn't do a what Bam Bam used to do. What was cartwheels?
Yes.
Surprised he doesn't do a cartwheel and smash somebody, because he's doing Insigiris. He's doing tope suicidas out to the ring. I mean, out of the ring. He is agile. He is fearless. And I've seen him take on Brian Keith twice now, and he's a different person in Texas. He is more intense. I'm glad that I didn't get that version of him in Oklahoma, because that version of him down in Texas is scary.
Nice. Maybe you will. You'll transition over. The next question I'm going to ask you is, who is Red James? But before we get there, so the Guerrilla Militia and the Bullet Club recently, a little scuffle, huh?
Yeah. Never works out for me. Always just seems like I wind up taking the worst of the moves. I was trying to get the King Gorilla, Franco D'Angelo, assist him with taking out. Oh man, I'm gonna get beat up. What's his name?
Was it Ace?
No, not. This wasn't Ace and Bay. This was the crown jewel of the Bullet Club.
Why is my mind just gone now too?
I went to hit him with the title, and I swung. I missed. He kicked me in the gut and package pile drive me. Well, evidently, I guess he jumped like above the rope too whenever he package pile drove me, and I don't remember much after that.
Well, it's the Bullet Club. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't. All right. I want to know who Red James is, but before you tell me, and I know you know the shtick, I have 3 wrestlers that I see who you are. 1, I get a Black Bart vibe, okay? Tully Blanchard, because, listen, you'll cheat to win, and you kind of, to me, you have a Tully stature, kind of, And then the other one, you're Dirty Dick Slater, because you're also a son of a bitch as well. And I mean that nicely, but do you see them?
Yeah, I see that. I unfortunately haven't studied much of Black Bart, but I need to. But yeah, I see what you're talking about. I do. I've been told backstage, like you're a petty son of a bitch, and I don't mean that in like a bad way. He's like, we got these guys, they're demonic bad guys. We got these guys, they're tough bad guys. but you stole this dude's shoes. You are a petty son of a bitch. Oh, yeah.
And that's where the Dick Slater comes in. That's where the Dick Slater, yeah.
Yeah, and that is what it is. Oh, well.
So when you do your, bringing it all the way back around, your tape study, like, who did you pull to be, Red James?
So Red James, my nickname through my family is Red. So I generally don't hear my shoot name, my real name, I don't hear that very often. My friends, they call me Ginger. So it's not like,
well, it's fitting, but
yeah, it's not far-fetched from what and I didn't get to pick my name. Whenever I was training, I trained with multiple people, and I just said, "Hey, what's your name? What's your nickname?" I said, "Well, my family calls me Red." They go, "There you go, Big Red." And I was like, "Yeah, put me in your mouth and I'll make you salivate." They were like, "Just Red." I was like, "All right." So we stuck with Red, and then I got put with a group of cowboys. I do personally wear jeans, pearl snap shirts. I don't wear a cowboy hat, but I do have it. But that's the way I dress normally. And but I didn't want to be a cowboy. I just like, I don't want to be a cowboy. It's too close to being what I am. So I've since dropped the cowboy hat. But I haven't got to pick my name. I didn't get to pick. And my nickname, the former moniker, the Foreman, came from Drake Gallows because of I was a crew foreman for years, and he was like, "You're the foreman. You direct things. Like, you're an asshole while everybody else is trying to get away with shit." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I didn't really pick nothing, anything. The way I dress, my character, my name, nothing.
But are you happy with it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've taken it and I've morphed it. It started out as a ranch hand character, but one person that I really latched on to, well, two people, Terry Funk. I latched on to watching a lot of Terry Funk and his NWA days.
Right.
Just the rough, tough brawler, the son of a bitch brawler. That's what I watched a lot of. I still watch a lot of Bradshaw. Not necessarily JBL, but I enjoyed that barroom brawler Bradshaw of the APA. So I really watched a lot of that. And
I didn't even think of that. You could have been, before he was JBL and APA, he was Justin Hawk Bradshaw. And that was kind of more down your line too. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually watched a lot of Justin Hawk myself. But yeah, I really, really liked Farouk and Bradshaw in the APA when they're just kicking back, having fun. And then, I got money. Now it's time to go be an asshole. Here we go.
Yeah, them and all the barroom brawls with Tim White being the owner of every bar that they went into, just destroying it week in and week out. Yeah, I love the APA.
I watched a lot of Stan Hansen and Blackjack Mulligan, Bob Orton Jr., James Storm. Watched a lot of him.
All amazing, by the way. You can keep naming. Listen, I know this is horrible to say, but anybody that did a cowboy gimmick, because Stan, Black, JBL when he was it, they all did it so well. Like, that was a gimmick that they ran with, and it was so truthful to them, I guess. Yeah.
William Gunn, not Billy Gunn, same guy, but William Gunn. But
the Smoking Guns?
Smoking Guns. I loved that. I loved them as a tag team. And so I watched a lot of that early on stuff. Wild Bill Irwin.
Yes, the Irwin brothers.
Yeah. But those are the people I watch a lot of and still watch a lot of.
That's awesome. All right, let's take a little bit of time off of wrestling and kind of get to know Red personally. Day off stuff. What do you do? I know the wife, the kids, but you don't go to the gym, you don't go to work, you guys are just hanging out as a family. Like, what do you guys really like to do? Nothing. Watch freaking wrestling. I know.
bro, okay, so on Wednesdays, where there's a few people that are in the business that live around me, and they come over and have dinner with us on Wednesdays, and we watch wrestling and eat dinner. But on the weekends, like there is like we're on the road, man.
Yep.
My son's older. He just turned 18. He's going to fixing to be a senior in high school, so he's not wanting to go with us. My daughter's 11 years old, so she wants to go with us everywhere. My wife, like I said, she's a professional wrestling referee. She's getting more bookings than I am in more states, so she's going out and doing that. And if we're not wrestling on the weekends, it's really like catching up on laundry and
household stuff. Yeah, welcome to the life,
stuff, man. That's like that is. It really is, because tonight I was supposed to go work out with a wrestler. I was supposed to go work out with him, and things happened, and I was like, okay, so my wife, she went to the gym right before we got on the phone together. So it's like we're either working out, we're eating and watching wrestling. Whenever we're at the gym, when you're on the Stairmaster or the bicycle, you're watching wrestling. So there's not really, Sundays are like just sleep and recover days.
Yep.
But Wednesdays, we have people over in the business. We eat.
And you watch AEW.
And we watch AEW, man. And there's people who don't like AEW. And then we're sitting there texting them like, hey, man, did you see this? No, I didn't see that. Oh, come on. Just turn it on.
Agreed. I still do that. I do that to my friends all the time. Like, why didn't you buy Forbidden Door? Well, because, no, you still have, some time before the Omega Osprey match. Why are you not buying it? I guilt him into $50, $60.
So I wasn't able to watch it live, but
nor was I.
My sister, she was always telling me, hey, I need to come see one of your matches. I just changed jobs. I can come see one of your matches. And I worked OKC PopCon over the weekend. The first day was wrestling. And then the second day was a training seminar. And I was like, hey, you're off work. Come with me. You'll get to see me, like, show little kids how to roll. You'll be able to get in the ring and be able to give you the full experience. She's like, nah, I gotta watch AEW Forbidden Door. It comes on later.
Yes, I love your sister.
I was like, what a bitch. I was like, damn. All right, whatever.
Forbidden Door or my brother, Danielson Okada, or I'll see my brother again. I don't know if I'll ever see Danielson Okada again.
Right, yeah. And, what's funny about her liking wrestling was that I don't ever remember her ever watching wrestling until her husband got into it.
Well, no, you were sneaking into her room when she wasn't there to watch it.
Yeah, and that's horrible. But
that's awesome. All right, stupid question time. I like throwing a couple stupid questions because they're like, what? Why did you ask me that? Who's the most famous person in your phone, in your contacts? And you don't have to give me your number or anything, but
Sam Stackhouse.
Nice. Okay. If you could have a drink with anybody in history, who would that be?
It would either have to be with Terry Funk or with Sting.
I love that you kept it wrestling because it could have been, Abe Lincoln or anybody. You keep it wrestling, so that's awesome.
Yeah. No, it's like that. I'm eat up with it, man. I am eat up with professional wrestling. There's only one guy that I know that watches more professional wrestling than I do, and that's a guy named Derek James, who's a very, very gifted professional wrestler here in Oklahoma. And why he's not on television somewhere, I don't know. That's just the way the business works. But he is the only person I know that watches more wrestling than I do.
If you watch everything that's on publicized TV, just not searching for things, you're watching about 27 hours a week. And then you go into the YouTube things, or then you have to go back and, CML or, New Japan that you have to have apps and everything for. It's a job.
Oh yeah, it's work, and I'll find myself on matches that I just don't care for. It's not that they're
happens.
not good. It's just, there's just everybody's really good because they're already on television. They're way better than me. So there's just guys that I'll be like, I don't want to watch this. I found myself taking naps for wrestling until the next entrance, and I'm like, whoo, all right, here we go.
The song just wakes you up. If you hear a call to personality, you're sitting straight up.
Yeah, it's just like, oh man, there's another match. All right, here we go. But
last stupid question. Favorite place to go? Where is your favorite place that you've ever been?
Wrestling?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't wrestled that. I will say, like, there's two places that I absolutely love the locker rooms. Two of my favorite places to go right now is besides. I love the core locker room. That's where I think my home is.
It's your family, right? That's your
That's my wrestling's family right there. Is core and UWO. But whenever I'm going out to outside of wrestling to go somewhere, if I'm going north, I'm going to either XWE or the newly founded Heartland Championship Wrestling. Their locker rooms are amazing. There's always a good time. I have legit almost had my ass whipped in those locker rooms, but it's such a good time. Such a good time. And the person you see in the ring isn't too far-fetched from the person that I really am. I am an asshole. I am a loudmouth. And I'm not afraid to get my shit knocked out, obviously. But
your teeth can come out every day if they want to.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, every day. But that up north, that's my favorite locker room. And for the experience and the knowledge, Texhoma Pro down there in Sherman, Texas, with Franco D'Angelo teaching me the ways of professional wrestling, and his mind for business, not wrestling business, but business, is amazing. Nice. And he's Joe Harrell and Knight Davis and Robert Langdon, wonderful, wonderful people, and their knowledge of professional wrestling and tweaking it. Like, hey, when you do a kick, go for this way for a kick,
And it's something you don't think about, but they're sitting back watching it saying, just a little bit higher, or just a little bit lower, do this, do that, right?
Right. And you wouldn't have thought about it. It wouldn't have given me 1 second of thought unless they're there with that knowledge of professional wrestling. And we were talking earlier about how you got into this and your love of just knowing people about professional wrestling. I love to know the people that I'm always around with also. And I have no idea these people's accolades. Nathan Estrada, I didn't know his accolades. Skylar Slice, I didn't know hers. Mascaleros, I didn't know his. Joe Harrell, I didn't know he's wrestled like every champion for every championship in Impact Wrestling. Had no idea. And I'm just hanging out with these people, talking to them, and they're giving me critiques. And it's mind-blowing to me about how humble these people are whenever I would be like, yeah, I wrestled for every damn championship in Impact. I would have put it up in your face.
Right.
I'd have made you tired of hearing my ass. But these people, their knowledge of professional wrestling is wonderful. I love going to new places anyways to learn things like that.
It is almost like humbling. You think, and I'm not throwing you under the bus, but I'm talking to you right now. You're running the gamut here, and here, and you're doing your stuff, and then you walk in and you're like, whoa, it's humbling that they're there to pat you on the back and say, hey, try this, try that. They only want to make the next generation better. And that's what makes for a great locker room.
Yeah. And I get goosebumps every time I tell this story. I had the privilege of working the table for Jimmy Hart one night at Mid States, and you want to talk about the most humble person I've ever met. Jimmy Hart. Like, I wouldn't have dreamed. Jimmy Hart is the nicest person I've ever met. He made sure that everybody that came to his table left with a little something.
Yep.
Whether it was just a signature, if they couldn't afford the signature, it was on it. He took care of it. Like that was Jimmy Hart. And to know somebody that's in the Hall of Fame is that humble, it's mind blowing.
The Can Crusher listeners have heard this over the years, but I'll tell you because I have the same story. 2 weeks before Roddy Piper passed away, me and some buddies stumbled across. He was doing a signing down by Baltimore. Holy crap! We got everything together. We went down. There was 300 people in this line, Red. He spent a minimum of 10 minutes with everybody. Like, he walked up. When I walked up, I know his eyes went up and down real quick. He saw my wedding ring. He's like, "Hey, how's your wife and kids?" He doesn't know me at all, but he instantly, boom. And I'm like, "Oh, they're good. Thanks for asking." Just talked. He cared about everybody. And I met Jimmy, too, in another one. They're the same way. They know how they have their vision, and they're like, "Okay, this is what I can talk to this guy about." And they just make you feel so welcome that you're like, that is the greatest person I've ever met in my life for that 10 minutes.
Right. And I worked with Jimmy all night long, and then he has to go get ready for his spot, and he's got to change shirts, and I'm helping him change his shirt so he can put his gimmick shirt on, or whoever he's helping out that night. And here's where the piece of shit comes out in me. I fold this shirt up, right? And it's still warm. I turn around and there's a guy right there. I said, $500. I'll sell you Jimmy Hart's shirt, still warm, and I'll never fucking come back. $500 right now. And dude goes, "Can I touch it?" I was like, "Yeah, you can touch it, but $500. He touched it. He's like, "It's still warm." I said, "I told you, $500. I'll never fucking come back."
You are a piece of shit. But
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. Biggest piece of shit ever. Oh, man. Yeah.
That's amazing. We're naming legends and everything, so I usually don't ask this, but I feel we're good. What's your Mount Rushmore? I'd love to know who your top 4 wrestlers are of all time.
Terry Funk and Sting are up there. Terry Funk, Sting, Kenny Omega, Okada.
Yeah, it's a hell of a list.
That's everybody that you could put on any one of their matches. I will stop what I'm doing and I will watch it.
Yeah.
And that Harley, I don't even know where Harley got. Like, I missed Harley Race. Like, how do I not? Like, I got to take some. I'll take Okada off and put Harley Race up there.
It's exchanging amazing for amazing. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I understand. All right, this is probably the hardest hitting question I ask, and you probably know it. Wrestling evolves all the time, from good, bad, sometimes putrid. If you could change something in the wrestling business to have everybody accept it, they don't have to like it, but at least accept it, what would you do? Because there's still some kind of bad stigma around wrestling.
Only thing about wrestling that I would change about wrestling is the fact that people say it's fake. Okay, it's fake, but you're still watching Young and the Restless. You're still watching
a Marvel movie.
The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, like, I'm not up in your ass about, hey, Marvel's fake. Everybody knows that Thanos is fake, but for the time being, we're suspending reality.
Right. I hate that word fake. I really do. If you want to use the other word, which I don't like saying it, and I'm gonna predetermined or this, that, or the other, that makes me gag as well, but fake, get in the ring with Red James one time. Tell me how fake it is.
Yeah, I've had my teeth literally got kicked out or kicked down my throat in a wrestling ring. Like my last time that I had to have my post pulled out of my head was year ago in July. So yeah, last year. So but that, like, it's real, damn it. But I mean, because you get in the ring with somebody, and here in Oklahoma we have a strong style, just like Texas.
Yep.
And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. But I have hit the curtain when my opponents looked me dead in the face, and I was under a year, and they said, if you don't hit me for real, I'm going to beat your ass. And you go, okay. And that's something that you got to swallow before you hit that curtain, put a character on, before you start actually fist fighting with another grown man. And that is, that's a true story. That's happened multiple times within my first year. I just came up at the end of my first year and in my second year. And that happened a lot of times. And it wasn't no animosity there. It was just either them trying to like scare me or something. But I've also had guys tell me to punch them harder in the ring. Whenever I throw a punch, boom, hit me harder, boom. Like, been broken open from the punches, been damn near like the soul kicked out of me from kicks. I got kicked so hard one time that my soul came out, looked at me. My soul had teeth, by the way, and goes, damn, that hurt. And I took a deep breath, and the guy picked me up. And as he picked me up, I swung as hard as I could, and I punched him right in the ear. And I mean, I didn't mean to punch him in the ear, but I was just swinging as hard as I could. And I punched him right in the ear. He goes, you motherfucker, that was my ear. And then he threw me back in the ring, and we just started throwing on each other. But that's literally a match.
Yeah.
But I don't. There's nothing about wrestling itself that I would change, because comedy wrestling, I love it. Drama wrestling, I love it. Technical wrestling, I love it. There's a place on everything on the card. There's a place. These guys, whoever the booker is smart enough to know, hey, we're going to warm up the crowd with these guys.
Yep.
We're going to take the intermission with these guys. We're going to bring them back with these girls. We're going to hit them hard with these girls. We're going to bring them back at the main event with this. So I believe wrestling, whether it's evolved a different way or whatever, because down here in Oklahoma, you hear old school a lot. And in Texas, you hear Texas strong style a lot. And it's more of the NWA rules.
Which is my favorite of all time. I'll just throw that out there. That's NWA is what I grew up on. Me and my grandfather watching that. I will take NWA, the Crockett era, if I could relive that over and over. And you can't on the internet, but if I can relive that over and over and over again, sign me up.
Right. And what really made me a fan was seeing what else was out there besides, because I watched wrestling there for 30 years before I even got into it. So watching that SoCal, Baja California style that is on AEW now,
Right.
Watching that in its infancy and then coming over here, major fan of that. Like, it livened things up. Whether you like it or not, that livened things up. But I guess, like, there's people that absolutely hate it. And
Well,
that's okay.
There's
That's
the old school people that will AEW will never grab them. If my grandfather was still alive, there's no way in hell he'd be watching AEW. It's too much for him.
Yeah, it's too much. And I get I get it. I get it all the way around. I get that watching GCW is too much for some people, but for me, that's just another avenue of, like, okay, Dmitry Alexandrov. If you haven't heard of it,
Yes,
he is watch a Dmitry Alexandrov regular match. Absolutely magnificent. But then you put him in a death match, and he is still magnificent. But you are watching pure art at that point. He is telling a story with a razor blade.
Yep.
And it's wonderful. So it's like, I don't know how else to explain Dimitri, but it's wonderful. So there's something there for everybody. And it's out there. If you want to watch big fireworks, go watch WWE. You want to watch guys run around in circles for 3 hours, go watch AEW. There's NWA still on television, and that's awesome. That's awesome. Getting to meet Tim Storm and hearing his stories as the NWA heavyweight champion, that's all. Like, I got to do that. I get to shake Tim Storm's hand every month because he's down at Texoma, and it's mind blowing to me. And for him to be there to coach people into how to do that style is mind blowing.
That leads me into the question that I think about. Is there somebody that you've met that has been big and that still you mark out or you fanboy over?
So I had the opportunity to meet Sting at a world-class Revolution show in Wichita, Texas. And I was just going to shake his hand and say thank you and have a great day. Hey, man, I loved watching you, this and that. But as I turned around and walk away, he grabbed me by the shoulder and he said, hey, man, take the picture. He said, you were a fan. I was a fan of wrestling. And we're here to create moments just like this. So take the picture. So I took a picture. I took a selfie with Sting. And that is like one of the most absolute coolest moments. I fanboy over that still. I'm probably never going to meet him again in my life. But I have that.
Right. It's that it would have been in your head, that memory, but now to look at it day in and day out, that's there.
And for him to tell me to take the picture.
Yeah.
That was like, and that's like, after I tell this story to some people, they're like, oh, that's him. That's what he does. Like he like you were saying about Roddy Piper. He looked at your ring, looked down, saw how's the wife and kids, and he's getting to know you. He knows, like, he's that humble. He knows people. He knows that they have changed people's lives for good or better, and they know that.
They do.
That's mind blowing.
That it really is. They're psychic or whatever. What's the best advice you've gotten behind the curtain from anybody?
Jimmy Hart told me to never turn it down. Always turn it up. Never turn it down always turn up the character. Always turn up the emotion. Always turn it up until they go, whoa, that's too much. And just turn it up. And I've been constantly pushing the bounds of what I turn up. So I go out in the audience, they leave their drinks too close. I'll take a sip and spit it on somebody.
Yes.
Cotton candy. This kid was like dogging me out with his cotton candy. I reached in his little, like the cups of cotton candy, picked it up, put it in my mouth and spit it back in the cup and walked off. Ripping up people's signs, knocking their hats off, reaching for them like I'm trying to get a hold of them. And they try to turn it up until they tell you to turn it down. And the only thing they've told me is don't cuss. And I don't know what it is, but I get around some certain people and it's just like motherfucker. But
right.
Most of the time it's not. I'm not that way at home. I'm not that way at work. And I know there's kids in the audience. I know that not to mess. I'll mess with the adults. I'll mess with them hard. Like if they get, oh boy,
they get wound up. Give me your best story because you clearly have a story.
Oh, they get wound. Oh, okay. So this guy named Coco, he's a wrestler around here. It's always Cowboys versus Indians. He's a real tough SOB, by the way. But his grandpa socked me in the jaw at a show.
Oh my God!
He socked me in the jaw. Like we're working. I'm on the outside of the ring. He socks me in the jaw. I kind of roll over, and Coco grabs a hold of me. He goes, "Did my grandpa hit you?" I said, "Somebody fucking did." And then he starts beating the hell out of me. But yeah, so Coco, his grandpa, I got to watch out for him whenever I'm at the shows. So he's missing an ear, and I didn't know this. And all night long, he's been trying to trip me. I tried to go give him a wet willy. No.
Oh no.
The dude's he's got no ear. It's somebody bit it off years ago and they sewed it up. So I was trying to give away. He goes, "Why did you poke me in the side of the head?" I was like, "I tried to give you a wet willy." He goes, "I ain't got no fucking ear." I was like, "Oh shit."
That's epic. That's epic.
I think I'll tell you this other story about an audience member later after the show.
Okay.
Because it, like the piece of shit really came out of me in one instance, and then something happened, and it's like, oh my god, I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah,
Like,
let's not get you canceled or escalate any
yeah,
of that.
yeah, because you definitely you'd get canceled. There's enough people that they would cancel me for damn sure.
So, what are your goals for the rest of 2023 and beyond?
My goals for 2023 is to not necessarily get signed, but make enough money at professional wrestling that I can quit my real job, keep my family accustomed to their lifestyle that they have, and just quit my day job.
Okay.
Like
So
that's
that's
my
essentially
goal.
and behind and beyond too. Then. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
This is just me being me, and you can tell me to shut up. If there was one organization, they all offer you a contract, all of them, everybody's on the table. Is there one that and you don't even have to say yes and give me the organization, but would you choose one over another?
If it's all the same, straight across the board, no. Like I love professional wrestling, and I would love the opportunity to have all the major companies after me. I would love that, and I'd probably be pinching myself for the next 48 hours before I sign one of them. But no, there's no like first come first serve, baby. I'm a whore.
Yeah. Okay. Final question, and we're going to find out your socials and all of that stuff, where you're going to be and all that. But your dream match, anybody in history, I think I know who it is already, but anybody in history, where is it going to be in the stipulation?
Who do you think it is?
Terry Funk.
It is. Terry Funk at the Sportatorium.
Yes.
Just regular match rules, no death match. I want a barroom brawl with Terry Funk in the Sportatorium. Just beer thrown at me, cigarettes. I'm trying to get stabbed, so let's do it.
You want that white heat then?
Dude, I want it so bad. Like, that's the reason why I grab a hold of people and I slap them or whatever. Like, I want that heat. Somebody was like, there's a difference between hatred and heat in professional wrestling. It's okay to, give heat to a wrestler, but not hate them. I was like, fuck them. I want them to hate me. I want them to meet me out in the fucking parking lot.
Have you been to the grounds of the Sportatorium?
I have not.
It's one of my places in history. I need to make it to.
It's the Dallas Sportatorium, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in Dallas quite a bit, traveling now, and I just need to Google it. I know there's it's a gravel parking lot now.
Right. But I would still probably take a stone from it. I really would. So.
Yeah, same here. I was just thinking that. I was like, if whatever the biggest rock is that I could find, I'm going to go, ooh, this was part of the wall of the Sportatorium, and I'm taking it.
Right.
But, yeah. Terry Funk in the Sportatorium, regular NWA rules. Get it on.
I'd love to see it. Terry's, we're reverting back a couple years for Terry. But, yeah.
Most definitely.
So where are you going to be? What's your socials? Merch, because I know you have a pro wrestling tees, so I'll throw that out there already. Give me all of that.
Alrighty, so July 6th, it's a TV taping we're doing for Unified Wrestling Oklahoma in Guthrie, Oklahoma. It's not open to the public, but it'll be a YouTube taping, really. July 7th, I am making my Majestic Championship Wrestling debut. I don't have a place where it's at, so I need to look that up. But I will be there July 7th, making my Majestic Championship Wrestling debut. July 15th, I am with Unified Wrestling Oklahoma. I believe that is in Enid. And July 21st, I am back in Sherman, Texas at Texoma Pro Wrestling. August 11th, once again, Majestic Championship Wrestling. I don't have a place, but August 11th, I'm there.
You
August
clearly
5th,
need a personal assistant.
oh, bro, you have no idea. Like, me booking myself is not a good idea. Like, I need an assistant of like places, and I get punched in the head for fun. I need somebody to write shit down for me. Uh, I had like 8 bookings on the same day one time. I was like, what the fuck was I doing?
If
And
anybody calls, yeah, I'm there. Oh shit.
yeah, yeah, it really, real story. August 5th at HorrorCon at Remington Park in Oklahoma City. August 12th, Unified Wrestling Oklahoma, uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma. August 18th, the Core Professional Wrestling is making their return to Sand Springs. August 19th, Unified Wrestling Oklahoma in Enid, Oklahoma. And August 26th is XWE Gold Rush, Salina Fieldhouse, Salina, Kansas.
Wow. A lot, most of them. So very busy schedule the next 2 months.
I'm glad you asked me where I was going to be so I can like add towns and times to my dates.
Right. What's your socials? Because also I'm getting to give you the Instagram social, because one of my favorite things I've read on Instagram this week is revenge. I'm too lazy. I'll let karma fuck with you. Yes. Thank you.
So that is a Red's uninspirational quote of the day. Every day at 7:00. It's not motivational quote.
No.
It's the unmotivational. Yeah, like I remember one day it was just like fuck them.
It was.
Yeah, like that. Or I call bullshit. I remember those were a couple of them. But yeah, every day at 7 a.m. get your Reds uninspirational quote. And there's some pretty good comebacks in there. Like
there are. I didn't want to read some of them, but yes.
Yeah, your mama's so nasty she suck your daddy's dick and kiss you goodnight.
Maybe that was the one I didn't want to read, but yes.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean they're not mine. Like I just
no, they're not yours. They're your fan.
Yeah.
They're your fans, so your fans are a piece of shit too, which is awesome.
Yeah. Like I'm a piece of shit. Like don't get me. I am a recovering piece of shit. I said that to some. Oh, I said that to Nigel. I forget Nigel's last name, but yeah, he goes, "You're recovering." I was like, okay. I'm still a bigger piece of shit, but I'm not as big of one as I used to be.
Yeah, a piece of shit anonymous.
Yeah, I'll be running that chair. You can follow me on Twitter at Joshua Red James. I am on Instagram at Josh Red James, LinkedIn Red James, TikTok Red James, Facebook page The Foreman Red James, YouTube The Foreman Red James, Tumblr. If anybody uses Tumblr, it's Joshua Red James. Yeah, I got a Tumblr.
Okay.
I got a Pinterest that I never use, but it's The Foreman Red James. If you're looking for Guerrilla Militia, you can merchandise. We have Guerrilla Militia merchandise available at theguerrillamilitia.com. You can also go pick up your Guerrilla Militia merchandise at Franco D'Angelo at prowrestlingtees.com /Franco D'Angelo /Vanilla Gorilla. Justin James is Pro Wrestling Tees is the Vanilla Gorilla. I myself have a Pro Wrestling Tees store. It's Joshua Red James, and DB Brawley has a pro wrestling store at prowrestlingtees.com /DB Brawley. Anywhere you find me. So I am an asshole. There is a current. He's a very good wrestling historian for the state of Oklahoma. Basim Burnham. If you ever heard of him, know him. He is not a Young Bucks fan. So I created a Facebook group called Burnham for Bucks, and we just get on there and post Young Buck matches
for him.
And for
yes.
him. Yeah. And we just tag him and all of that. And I do have merch available whenever I go to these towns. There is like burn 'em for bucks, pins, koozies, soon to be shirts, but we have little pins and koozies right now, burn 'em for bucks, just to troll him. And he tried to tell me one day, he's like, hey, there is one good Young Bucks match. I said, Burnham, shut the fuck up. He's like, what? I said, right now I respect you. Stand your fucking ground.
Right, you can't backpedal.
Yeah, don't backpedal on me. I said, shut the fuck up. He said, you're going to get royalties. All right, I'm trying to get this off the ground. And we're up to 175 followers, but yeah, give Burn 'em for bucks a follow and post your favorite Young Bucks memes, matches, whatever Young Bucks. Put it right down there and tag CM Burnham.
I gotta grab it. I gotta grab it as soon as the show's over. That's fucking amazing. I might as well just join the piece of shit club too because I want in.
yeah. And it's okay not to like anybody, but I might troll your ass.
That's all right. Troll me all you want. Red, this has been fantastic. I thank you for reaching out. Thank you for joining Can Crushers tonight. I can't wait to hear shit off air. I'm not even going to lie. You guys, good luck if you ever find this out.
This is it's horrible. It's fucking horrible. I told this story. I told this story over the weekend because we just got done with the popcorn. I told this story, and the guy looked at me and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, dude, I didn't know. Anyways, I was like, I didn't know. Blah. And he was like, that's kind of fucked up. I was like, yeah, it's really fucked up. But it happened. It happened. I'm not apologizing for it. It happened.
Yeah, you can't. All right, buddy. Thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
Hey, this is Malik Mayfield, the official cheer captain of professional wrestling, and you're listening to the Can Crushers podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the Foreman, Red James, and if there's a piece of shit fan club, I've become the captain. Because deep down, if you deep down know me, you know the inner workings of Mark the Mark. You ask some of the friends that have been on Can Crushers over the years. Yeah, Red James. Red James and I should go paint a town red and just, oh my God. By the way, I will never release this, but what we talked about once we cut the air, unbelievable. It's scary, unbelievably scary. But when you listen to this, and I know this is the story of, the Foreman, Red James and everything. Deep down, yeah, you might be a piece of shit. But I love the stories. I do. We found out how he got into professional wrestling. Great grandpa. And, hanging out. That his sister doesn't go to his show to watch Forbidden Door a couple weeks ago. Unbelievable stuff. How the family is so engulfed into professional wrestling. Wife's a referee. The daughter still goes. Yeah, living the life. And living wrestling life, and it's so much fun. And you wouldn't have known this unless you didn't hear it here on Can Crushers Wrestling Spotlight, because this is what we do. We get the stories out of wrestlers, the who, what, why, and how, and it just, listen, I get the dad moments all the time, and that's what this is. To wrap it up right now, this is my dad moment of, I'm so blessed that he reached out when I said, hey, I'm scheduling July and let's do this. And this was awesome. This was a great show. It warms my piece of shit heart to know that there's other people out there like me and Red James. Guys, if you'd like to be on the show after listening to this whole interview with myself and Red, talking about wrestling, getting to know him a little bit more, reach out, get over to our Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and slide into a DM and say, hey, I want to be part of the show. Or reach out, cancrusher69@gmail.com. Do it. Get on the show. Let's find out your story. Make sure you give Red a follow on Tumblr or buy something from Pinterest or Etsy or whatever the other ones that he said he had. He's got a litany. He probably is the professional wrestler that has more social media on the indie realm than anybody else. Tumblr? Like, what? Nonetheless. Guys, great show again this week. Make sure you watch out to see what we're going to do this coming weekend on Saturday, and then more spotlights coming every Wednesday. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited. Remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called the garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know.